Enjoy real value online with TM Pick and Pay Click and Collect. It's time for the news.
Good evening and welcome to the main news. I am Tariro Manamike with Peace Munyika at the Sign Language Desk.
And I'm Joyce Mabiga. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at our leading stories in this bulletin.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa salutes Team Zimbabwe for winning the 2024 Orate Africa Moot competition.
In other news, more than 1,000 suspected drug and substance peddlers arrested, drug bases destroyed.
And in business, the government to set up 20 gold centers across the country by next year.
Our leading sports story tonight, Zimbabwe's Andie Kuipers wins gold medal at the Africa Triathlon Championships in South Africa.
And now we give you the news in detail, starting with this story, where President Emmerson Mnangagwa has saluted the Team Zimbabwe, which won the 2024 Africa Moot competition in Botswana.
Speaking after meeting the team at State House in Harare this Monday, Comrade Mnangagwa noted that the win validates the superiority of Zimbabwe's heritage-based education curriculum in the region.
Team Zimbabwe, which excelled in the 2024 Orate Africa Moot competition in Botswana in December last year, paid a courtesy call on President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House, Harare, this Monday. President Mnangagwa saluted the students for raising the flag high by beating 19 other schools from the region to come out tops.
I delight in meeting young people who excel. This is critically important. There are so many kids of the same age at the same school, but those who find their way to this place should feel privileged. But most importantly, it is because they've performed well. That's why they're able to come and meet the head of state. I congratulate them.
At the competition, where 8 SADC countries were represented, Team Zimbabwe emerged as the overall winners with the best coach, best female speaker and the best male speaker of the competition.
This was a moot court competition, which is a simulation of real court proceedings. It's more of a mock trial. We had 7 SADC countries, and there were 19 schools. And out of those 19 schools, our team, Zimbabwe, managed to come up first.
It was very tough. There were many schools, many countries, but we managed to push through many sleepless nights, much more learning, trying to learn about the laws and everything, but we managed to come through and we brought the trophy back home to Zimbabwe.
The competition in itself was a difficult competition, but through sleepless nights and hard work, we managed to win. And the exposure itself, the chance you get to represent the country, it's something you won't forget. And also the opportunity itself to meet His Excellency.
The Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Dr. Tore Raimo, said the victory cements the country's heritage-based education framework as superior within the region.
Education should be meaningful. Education that does not produce goods and services that our people need is useless and is not important. And by the heritage-based curriculum, we want to identify talents in our students. Those who are good in law, let be it, because these were competing as as lawyers.
At the competitions, Team Zimbabwe was represented by students from Heritage School and St. George's College. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, State House.
Indeed, we say congratulations to Team Zimbabwe. Now, the government has resumed civil works on the remaining parts of the Harare-Masvingo-Bait Bridge Highway, which is one of the signature projects of the Second Republic under the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Progress continues on one of the country's major road infrastructure projects. the Harare Masvingo Bide Bridge Road Rehabilitation Project, where 493 kilometers out of the 580 kilometers have been rehabilitated and now open to traffic.
Focus is now on upgrading the remaining 87 kilometers of the road, with the completion of the project set to be a huge economic boost to the nation, while also giving government an opportunity to devote more attention to other road projects, including the Bide Bridge Bulawayo Victoria Falls Highway.
We will be able to complete the rehabilitation of the entire road by end of August 2025, except for some few bridges. We have got quite a number of bridges and interchanges along the road. We are working on the construction of a road over rail in Bed Bridge, and that bridge will be able to complete it before the end of this year. We also have the construction of another road over rail in Mvuma.
Part of the ongoing works include the dualization of a 7.5 kilometer section from Houghton Park towards Harare's Central Business District.
We have already started the upgrading and rehabilitation on the dualized section from Houghton Park, around about where they normally call Chinzo, all the way up to Julius Nyerere main post office. The works have already resumed. It's a stretch of 7.5 kilometers. What we are going to do is also the surrounding roads are going also to be rehabilitated because they are going to be used as diversion routes. Some they call it detours.
The ongoing project has been met with widespread approval from both motorists and residents, anticipating significant improvements in connectivity and easier access to destinations and services.
Nayo kugadzira kwomugwagwa yakanaka zvinobatsira kakwatiri kuti motikari dzinenge dzakuchengeteka.
Rodhi rikugadzirwa zvakanaka. Maonero andiri kuita plaza vari kufamba.
Ndinoda kupa kutenda kuna ari kutigadzira manzira dzemota dzedu, mapoto wanga awanda, ende kana muchiona kuchigadzirwa dai so zviri kuratidza kuti zvinhu zviri kufamba.
Other ongoing projects which are part of the Harare Masvingo Bide Bridge Road Rehabilitation Project include the Trabablas Traffic Interchange Project, where significant progress has also been recorded. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
As preparations for the winter wheat season intensify, the government has assured farmers of the availability of inputs accessible through the ADA joint venture and presidential input schemes.
With the agriculture calendar now taking a transition from summer to the winter cropping season, government has put in motion several input support schemes for farmers to achieve the 2025 national wheat target. The inputs will be availed under the Agriculture Rural Development Authority ADA joint venture scheme for those who have acquired title deeds under the presidential scheme launched last year. Smallholder farmers without title deeds can access the inputs under the presidential input scheme.
We do have enough inputs in the country for all the programs. We also have modalities for the programs that we run as government. So we have announced that for the presidential input support program, we are doing the card system, which is going to be run through AFC for the other JV programming, which is targeting 60,000 hectares. We are also saying all the farmers who will go into JVs with the ADA must have title deeds. So this is in an effort where we are now pushing farming to be a business.
ADA board chairperson Ms. Yvonne Craig emphasized the need for farmers to plan their hectarage in line with volumes of water tables in their dams.
Whatever amount of water you have must be calculated to match the hectarage which you want to plant. As ADA, we have a target of growing 60,000 hectares, and out of the 60,000 hectares, you find we are going to get it from our irrigation schemes, we are going to get it from our own estates, as well as joint venture. We have our team on the ground together with agri-tax officers who are vetting and contracting farmers to join us on this journey of achieving the 60,000 60,000 hectares of wheat.
Government is targeting to put 120,000 hectares under wheat, while 15,000 hectares will be put under potatoes and barley during this winter cropping season. Andie Mnangagwa, ZBC News, Harare.
A United Arab Emirates-based multinational firm has expressed interest to expand its investment portfolio in Zimbabwe, particularly in the hospitality industry. And we get the details in the upcoming report.
Almost a year after acquiring the iconic Mykonos Hotel through its Hyatt Regency brand, the United Arab Emirates conglomerate Outboard Investments is seeing viable opportunities in Zimbabwe. A tour of the refurbished facilities at the hotel this Monday showed a commitment by the multinational firm to fulfill government's aspiration of increasing the national hotel room availability from over 6,000 to 20,000 in the next 5 years.
In the near future, the GDP for this country is going to be driven by the tourism industry. This country is a beautiful country. It has got a lot of good infrastructure. The industry is quite viable. We are going to see a huge influx of investors. They are going to be coming, looking for some opportunities which are abundant in this country.
Increased global investor interest is expected to facilitate Zimbabwe's tourism industry growth.
Zimbabwe is on an upward growth pattern with regard to travel and tourism, and Southern Africa offers a great many opportunities for investors of all kinds to come in and extend their services, particularly people who have got good track records internationally. This is a market that they want to be in because it's a growing market and it's a market in which they can make a difference. We in Zimbabwe, of course, we've got a lot of potential that we need to fill, so we welcome any investment, whether it's local or international.
Government says projects by global investors are an endorsement of the Second Republic's measures on Zimbabwe as a viable and a safe destination.
We are working with a team whereby we're developing our tourism, we're developing our hotels. We've got a project coming up in Victoria Falls. We're inviting all the big players, the big names in the hotel industry to come in and build their own structures that they can run for the next years to come. So as a ministry, yes, we're working flat out to have more and more of these investments to come in.
The UAE-based holding company paid $20 million United States to acquire the historic hotel asset in Zimbabwe. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
The Mbare Musika Traders Mall in Harare is now complete and set for opening this week. Let's get more details.
Mbare Musika traders, whose wares were destroyed by fire late last year, are breathing a sigh of relief following the completion of a new mall that will accommodate up to 1,000 traders.
The president is a listening president who has
This Monday, a government ministerial delegation assessed the progress in the construction of the mall, which is set to be commissioned this week.
We came here to find out whether our investors and contractors have done what we direct them to do. We are now at 99.999% in terms of readiness. There are few areas which we just need to polish up.
Nzvimbo yapo yakagadzirwa zvemandorokwati zvepamusoro-soro zvatiri kufara nazvo chaizvo. Ivo matraders ari kufara nenzvimbo yavo.
The construction of the mall was a collaborative effort between government and other stakeholders that include Harare City Council.
This first phase will be able to accommodate 1,000, in excess of 1,400 people. It can accommodate more, but it will depend on how they want to use the space and how we are going to use the space. But we are looking towards creating the other market very quickly.
Government has also mooted plans to modernize the Glenview Area 8 complex, where small to medium entrepreneurs are operating from. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Lithium mining giant Kuipers Mining House is in the process of finalizing a build, operate and transfer deal with international investors. The development will pave way for the construction of a processing plant at its Sandawana mine in Berengwa.
Sandawana Mines has one of the country's largest lithium reserves, sitting on an estimated 100 million tons of ore, positioning it as the fifth largest reserve across the world. According to officials at Sandawana, preliminary findings indicate a high grade of the ore, which is one of the important attributes that have courted international investment to the mine. Negotiations for a multi-million United States dollar build, operate and transfer deal with international partners are expected to be completed by mid-year and pave way for the construction of a processing plant at Sandawana mine.
The Sandawana project is definitely still very, very viable. And we're very close to finalizing an agreement where we're going to implement a BOT structure with a partner, develop the Sandawana mine, where they will, the partners will provide a loan to enable us to construct the mine and the processing plant. And once we've paid that loan back, the ownership of that mine will become fully that of Kuvuma Mining House. And we are very excited about that project, which we believe is very, very close to being finalized. Again, we hope that we can start construction there towards the middle of this year, because we're on the verge of actually signing the final agreements at Sandawana.
Sandawana mine is one of the important portfolios under Kuvimba Mining House, and it is expected to produce at least 500,000 tons of concentrates, translating to potential income of 250 million United States dollars per annum, according to official estimates. Establishment of new mines and the revival of struggling ones are the key priorities of the Second Republic, which is leveraging on mining, among other sectors, for national economic growth. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
The government's fight against drug and substance abuse is bearing fruit, with over 1,000 suspects having been arrested last month. Speaking to ZBC News this Monday, a Zimbabwe Republic Police National Spokesperson, Commissioner Paul Nyati, confirmed that drug bases have also been destroyed.
For the month of March 2025, a total of 1,203 suspects were arrested for various offenses, which include drug peddling, drug trafficking, and also those who were found in possession. And we have realized that some of the drugs which are dominating in terms of illicit activities, we include cocaine, we include crystal meth, dacha, and some of these substances such as Bronclear and others. We wanted to urge the public to continue giving information to the police so that these drug bases can continue to be busted and destroyed, and also for people, of whatever identity who are peddling drugs to be arrested. In terms of identification of illicit substances, drugs, we work together with experts. Experts who include the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, the Ministry of Health and Child Care, and other relevant stakeholders. So what it entails is we need people to give us information. We need people to report. Even if it's your relative who is engaged in drug and substance abuse, illicit activities, people should just report.
The ruling party ZANU-PF has started preparing for the Gutu East by-elections, with party members being urged to remain united and to ensure resounding victory.
Addressing a ZANU-PF Provincial Coordinating Committee meeting this Sunday in Masvingo, National Political Commissar Comrade Munyaradzi Machacha said the party is now ready for a by-election in Gutu East and they are expecting a resounding victory.
Tirikutarisirawo zvakare kuti vaite gadziriro yekuma by-elections atiri kutarisira kuGutu East nema ward 10 of Gutu and ward 4 yekuChiredzi kuti vakwanise kuita ma-primary elections avo, tiwane ma-candidates, tive ready kuti panoannouncwa neZEC ma-dates e-nomination tave ready tigoita campaign yedu titore ma-constituencies iwawo zvakare arambe ari eZANU-PF.
Comrade Machacha also spoke about discipline in the party, saying they are working on a social media policy to address abuse of social media platforms by some rogue elements.
Tataurawo nenyaya discipline and the need yokuti vanhu tirambe takabatana tichishanda pamwe chete, uye kuti tisatendera mamembers edu kuti aite indiscipline pasocial media. Musangano uri kugadzira social media policy icharegulator conduct yemamembers ayo pasocial media. Vanozowanikwa vachikanganisa kana kutyora mitemo vanenge vachizotorerwa madisciplinary measures akaoma.
Politburo members Comrade Love Mo Matuke and Comrade Paul Mangwana spoke on the importance of being loyal to the president and the party.
Ngatigadzirisei matauriro edu pasocial media. Tine mitemo iri kuda kugadziriswa inodhila nema-issues to do with the social media. Yamboreizwa panapa kuti kupati kwedu tichaona kuti ma-disciplinary issues achabata vamwe vedu panapa inyaya yekuita abuse yesocial media nenyaya yekuhakira. Isisuwo kuhurumende tichaita mishini inotarisa kuti anenge ataura ari papi, zvambobva papi zvikaenda kupi, kusvika taona kuti inenge riri tsotsi racho ndiani.
As far as I'm concerned, Geza is nothing. Kumashwesti kwacho hana kana munhu wana anomuteera. Kumashwesti kwacho hakuna kana munhu wana anombozwa kuti chii chinonzi Geza.
Gutu East by-election comes following the expulsion of Benjamin Ganyiwa, who was the area legislator from ZANU-PF party. ZANU-PF primary elections in Gutu East will be held on the 17th of April. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
You're watching the main news. Remember to visit our website, zbcnews.co.zw, and you can get these and more stories in greater detail. You can also link up with us on various social media platforms. We are ZBC News Online.
Indeed, and for stories still to come in this bulletin. The government to set up 20 gold centers across the country by next year. Zimbabwe's Andie Kuipers wins gold at Africa Triathlon Championships in South Africa. And on that note, we take a short break, but when we come back, we'll give you the rest of the bulletin. Stay tuned.
In a world where time is currency, every minute counts. Let's be real here. Who has time to waste on grocery shopping? I mean, I'd rather be organizing paperwork all day, or better still, watching paint dry. Anything but grocery shopping. But then I discovered Click and Collect. TM Pick and Pay's online grocery shopping platform. I can order online and collect at my convenience with no parking hassles, no queues. Thank you. And still have plenty of time for the important stuff, like taking a nap. Click and Collect. It's not just an online service, it's real convenience. TM Pick and Pay. Real value, always.
These holidays, you don't need to go far to find the best entertainment.
Exactly.
All you need to do is stay connected to DSTV.
Yes, please.
Whether you're at home or on the move, make it a holiday to remember.
Lewis Hamilton leads on Ferrari debut.
Because these holidays, it's your moment to enjoy the best entertainment.
Great.
Thank you guys for joining us. So get and stay connected to DSTV to enjoy every moment.
My family has come a long way from when we started out in Motoko. We've paid off the stand in town and built our own place. Our family is growing.
Boys, how are
But I guess some things don't change.
It's fun.
My mom used to bath me just like this. New Aura Beauty Soap for skin that glows. From the House of Zimgold.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching the main news. The transformation of Mutapa Hall in Gweru into a national monument is progressing well with workers on site. In our Independence feature tonight, our Midlands Bureau Chief Tafara Chikumira unpacks how the historic place stands as a symbol of nationalists' resistance to the white minority rule.
Located in the middle of one of Gweru's oldest high-density suburb of Mutapa is a building of historical significance by the name Mutapa Hall. The building is famed for having hosted the first ZANU Congress in 1964, ushering in a political leadership that would complement other political movements in fighting the liberation struggle. President Emmerson Mnangagwa was among the many nationalists who attended the Congress, which saw the late national hero, Comrade Ndawani Stole, being elected president, while the late former president, Robert Mugabe, was elected Secretary General. The hall has since been identified as a historical monument due to its significance after the newly formed political outfit came up with a resolution to wage an armed struggle against the settler regime and correct some injustices that were being perpetrated by the white minority against the indigenous black majority. While the hall held this essential congress, nationalists had to strategize and come up with new ways of meeting and discussing the way forward after the hall became a no-go area as soon as the white minority got wind of the decisive congress, leading to the ban of ZANU a year later by the Ian Smith regime.
Tiri pa section 6 msangano wedu taitira mumba usiku kuma 5. Taisa munhu pamusoro pemba tobora zengi munhu uyo anenge aine sando echita somunhu anoda kuvera imba isu tiri mukati kana akaona mota yamapurisa yechidai moti hatichatauri.
70-year-old war veteran Comrade Joseph Vura says after the Congress, it was no longer possible to use the hall as all eyes were now fixed at the infrastructure.
Msangano wezanu wao usingabudiswi pachena muno mugweru nokuti vaitya kuti mukaubudisa pachena munosungwa muurawa. Asi ndakashingirira kusvika ndatsvaka ndauwana musangano. Pakuona vanhu vaipinda musangano vakati hatipindi musangano pese pese, tinee tichivanda tinopindira kugweruko kwaiva kudondo ndokubva ndanojoina vamwe ukoko. Nyika yasununguka ndokwatata kukwanisa kutsvaka nzvimbo yakanaka yokupindira musangano wedu. Takanga toupindira muMutapa Hall.
The hall has received massive renovations and a solar-powered bore has since been installed to provide clean water to the people, and the government is happy with the development.
To think of it, that the wisdom that the president had of moving around, taking these celebrations to provinces and not just provinces, to those marginalized places, you know, like Nebuzia, like Buhera, like Magdarwin, and what this does in terms of infrastructure development to those places, it's something that has never happened in the 43 years or so.
We are happy that the independence is here. It will leave a lot of good things to our province in terms of rehabilitation of roads, our rehabilitation of the infrastructure on its own. You can see Mutapa Hall is an old building, but it is now being modernized. We are seeing there are now tiles, solarized water, which will also be used by the community.
On Thursday this week, the nation will witness the lighting of the independence flame at the site before it is taken across the Midlands province. This year's independence celebrations are being held under the theme Zim 845, Devolve and Develop Together Towards Vision 2030. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
And with that story, we now cross over to our Montrose studios where Memory Nkwendlovu is on standby. Good evening to you, Memory.
Good evening to you, Tari. Thank you so much, and good evening to the viewers at home. The local tourism sector is on a growth trajectory as several new players come on board. More from the following report.
Zimbabwe's tourism sector continues to attract investments from both local and foreign players, but the latest investments haven't been recorded in Bulawayo.
We said let's come in with something different, a different product altogether, which is very executive for our guests, and they feel a difference of the modern way we are going into. You go to South Africa, you see the hotels, there's a difference with what we have in. So that's what we have here in Zim. So that's what we are trying in Bulawayo. Let's have that new product so that we can attract our customers. Quite a lot has been invested in this hotel, over 15 million in the hotel from the start up to infrastructure, up to finishing and also designing it.
Sizongezelela indawo zokuhlala for abantu abayithekelela koBulawayo. Sile ama rooms amanengi, and we have got ama project amanye abuyayo esifisa ukuthi sithuthukise uBulawayo.
The impact is mostly direct felt by the individuals who have found employment within these new establishments.
We are grateful for the exposure, especially some of us that are coming fresh from school, that we get to implement the skills and the experience that we have.
Uvula kwalezi kwamahotela kusiphathise kakhulu thina njengabantu abafunda tourism and hospitality industry ukusincedisa lamathuba omsebenzi nokwenza ukuthi sikwanise ukunakekela nokuncedisa izimuli zethu.
Government anticipates more economic benefits from such investments.
We are also going to get infrastructure that is supportive of it also going up, and the general outlook of the city will actually be reflected through a multiplier effect. So you see employment, public expenditure and so forth, to actually lead to increased aggregate demand for goods and services.
By strategically expanding accommodation infrastructure in key destinations, Zimbabwe is taking new steps towards growing the sector, which has already surpassed a $5 billion United States industry target. Elandmoy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Farmers at Woodlands, a farm near Victoria Falls, have lost approximately 50 cattle to lions this year alone.
A pride of lions is systematically decimating livestock at Woodlands farm near Victoria Falls, and this has left several farmers devastated.
Izilwane seziqedile impahla. Ngikhuluma kanje kithi ngathi sesidlelwe inkomo ezingafika 5.
A lot of our stake is in our livestock. These lions predate on our livestock, on our cattle, on our goats especially, and donkeys as well. So that will bring in a lot of poverty in the area.
Mina ngawala sibe ziyafika 15 ezadliwayo ezana.
Izilwane ezinengi kakhulu ziyakwana ama groups 4 to 5 ama groups ezilwane. Sezisiqedele izifuyo. Inkomo seziphelile eBootlands, akusela kuthula eBootlands ngenxa yezilwane. Sithwele nzima amadonka sephelile, imbuzi seziphelile. Phakathi kwesigaba sezifika ngama 50 khathesi esezidliwe this year kuphela.
Efforts to obtain comments from the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority and tourism operators around Woodlands Farm are unsuccessful. Despite this localized crisis, the national livestock subsector has shown a positive trend with a slight increase in the national beef cattle head from just around 5.7 million in 2023 to 5.74 million in 2024. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Rwanda has celebrated the role that African religion blocs are playing in seeking peace within the continent as it marks 31 years since the 1994 genocide.
The 1994 genocide against the Tutsi people of Rwanda is a dark cloud that remains hanging for the Rwandese. Marking the day in Harare this Monday, Rwanda's ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency James Musoni, said his country is united to make sure the events of 1994 do not reoccur, while also celebrating the role that the Southern African Development Community SADC and the East African Community EAC are playing in bringing peace to the Great Lakes region.
Us on this very
have a day as we honor the victims, comfort survivors, and pay tribute to our heroes who stopped the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. We commend the East African and SADC Peace Initiative, which promotes dialogue to address the root causes of the conflict in the Eastern DRC. And here we also salute the leadership of His Excellency President Emmerson Mnangagwa and the government of Zimbabwe in their role as the chair of SADC, in collaboration with their colleagues in the East Africa and others and the African Union, to try and deal with these issues.
Zimbabwe honored those that brought to an end the genocide.
The government and the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe stand in solidarity with the government and the people of the Republic of Rwanda in remembering the atrocities that took place 31 years ago. The theme of the 31st anniversary of the genocide against the Tutsi, and I quote, "Remember, unite, renew," in the close quote, demonstrates that Rwandans have emerged from this genocide as reunited and refocused people.
Bilateral cooperation between Harare and Kigali has grown, with several strategic memoranda of understanding having been signed in various sectors such as air transport, finance, education, media, energy, infrastructure and mining. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
And that report taking us back to you, Joyce and Tari, with the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Indeed, thank you very much for those stories, Memory. We continue with the main news bulletin from our Harare studios. Now, satellite-based internet service provider Starlink is impressed by the adoption of its services in Zimbabwe, pledging to introduce new low-cost internet services targeting marginalized communities.
The US-based satellite internet service provider was granted an operating license just less than a year ago, and Zimbabwe has been ranked the fastest growing market on the continent, prompting Starlink's US-based top executive team to jet into the country to further enhance its strategic working synergies with the government. The team met the Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Tatenda Mavetera, where they pledged to launch other low-cost internet solutions for Zimbabwe.
We will have faster speeds, we'll have better coverage, we'll have more capacity across not only the region but the globe. So again, on the terminal side, we have lower power consumption, which obviously helps with schools with regards to less solar, less battery, and allowing you to roll out more schools because it doesn't cost as much to build.
We have actually set some records at a global scale in the Starlink ecosystem and distinguished ourselves as one of the fastest growing resellers in Africa. So, what also brings them here is the value that we've shown them we can add, and the value that we continue to demonstrate that we can add to them.
Government lauded the impact of Starlink in achieving universal internet connectivity.
They've assured us through their resellers they will come up with a package which is quite conducive for our schools and clinics. The ultimate goal that Starlink has is to make sure that they bridge the urban and rural divide, but mainly, especially in the rural areas. And we are happy that we've got our digitalization program, which our president has said we need to digitalize towards Vision 2030. And for us to achieve this, we need to make sure that at least we come up with solutions which will make sure that each and every area is connected. So having Starlink on board is very, very important for us as a country, because definitely where there is no connection, we know very well the solution is Starlink.
The Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services is making huge strides to transform the local ICT sector, and the licensing of Starlink by government last year signifies a bold step towards establishing a modern ICT-led society. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The menus will take a break now. Join us for business news when we return.
The Deputy Minister of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Honorable Emily Jesiah, the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Nicholas Moyo, the Acting Chief Director, Dr. B. Samwanda, along with the directors, management and the entire staff, proudly join His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, in extending heartfelt congratulations to Honorable Minister, Lieutenant General Retired Ambassador A.N. Sanyatwe on his appointment as the Minister of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture. His leadership and dedication to national service will undoubtedly contribute to the advancement of sport, recreation, arts and culture in Zimbabwe. We look forward to his visionary guidance in fostering talent development, enhancing infrastructure, and promoting a vibrant sporting and creative industry for the benefit of the nation. May his tenure be marked by success, growth, and excellence in the sector. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlope.
Zimbabwe.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and everything in between.
Welcome back. The government is set to establish 20 gold centers across the country by next year to curb leakages of the precious metal.
In a bid to cap gold leakages and allow the nation to benefit from its abundant resources, government is in the process of setting up additional gold centers across the country. This was revealed by the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Polite Kambamura, when he appeared before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee of Mines and Mining Development at the new Parliament building in Mount Hampton this Monday.
They've also checked on the establishment of gold centers, something which government has already embarked on. We've established the Bobi Gold Center. The Maka Gold Service Center is now 95% complete. The other one is in Karadz. That one is 60% complete. So we are going on to roll out more gold centers throughout the country. We are targeting about 20 gold centers to be established. These will be one-stop centers where small-scale miners will get all their requirements there, be it explosives, fuel and other consumables, and also technical expertise. Ministry will be putting up surveyors, our geologists, rock mechanic engineers at those gold service centers. Last but not least, Fidelity gold printers will also be stationed at that gold milling center to buy gold that will be coming from the small-scale miners.
The chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Remigius Matangira, underscored the need for the government to expedite the formalization of artisanal miners.
What the people that we made wanted actually to understand and know is what we had now actually to ask the minister, what about this? We have got actually the burning issue where government wants actually to formalize and regularize the small-scale miner or artisanal miners who are working but have got no formalization. They don't have no papers. That is what we wanted actually to hear from the ministry. And the ministry said they are seized with the same case.
Government is providing support to artisanal miners, which includes access to funding, training and resources as a way of allowing local miners to participate in the sector and benefit from the country's natural resources. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Mount Hampton.
And on that note, we take a break, but when we come back, Anashe Morombezi will be giving us the latest in sport. Stay tuned.
Minister of Defense, Honorable Opa CZ Muchinguri Kashiri, the Deputy Minister of Defense, Honorable Brigadier General Retired Levi Maihlome, the Secretary for Defense, Comrade Aaron D.T. Nepera, Commander Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General Philip Valerio Sibanda, Service Commanders, General and Air Officers, Chief Director, Directors, Senior Officers, Officers, men and women of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and staff of the Ministry of Defense. Join His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, in congratulating Lieutenant General Retired Ambassador Anselm Namo Sanyatwe on his appointment as the Minister of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture. Honorable Minister and General, your appointment to the Cabinet is testament not only to your exemplary leadership, but is also in recognition of your unwavering commitment and loyalty in serving our motherland. The Ministry of Defense celebrates with you on this momentous occasion as we also assure you of our continued support and collaboration. Your appointment also comes hard on the heels of yet another grand celebration as Zimbabwe, SADC and Africa in general are eclipsed in jubilation over the election to the presidency of the International Olympic Committee of Honorable Dr. Kirsty Coventry. We pray that God Almighty grant you good health and greater wisdom as you assume your new responsibility under the Ministry of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amklope. The Ministry of Defense, guaranteeing a conducive environment for the attainment of Vision 2030.
It's time for sport and welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shambrombedzi here with the latest in the world of sport. Now Zimbabwe's top Andie Kuipers returned from a long injury layoff to win gold in the under-23 women's category at the 2025 Africa Triathlon Championships held at Nelson Mandela Bay in South Africa on Saturday.
Kuipers has been struggling with injuries for the past 2 seasons and recently missed the Troutberg leg of the Africa Triathlon Cup. However, once she recovered, she made her way to South Africa and showed a class after winning gold at the Africa Triathlon Cup held at the Nelson Mandela Bay. The United States of America-based athlete is happy with her triumph on the track.
It means a lot, especially after the start of this year and then not qualifying for Paris last year and just kind of the struggles I had and personal struggles. My mum was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer as well last year. So to start this year with an injury and now to win this, it feels like a big relief, but also like a huge boost in my confidence to know that even though I'm not 100% and I know I'm not at the level yet that I can be, I'm still one of the best on the continent.
The goal for the 22-year-old is now to prepare for the 2028 Olympic Games.
The 2025 is about getting my ranking as high as I can, so winning a few continental cups, hopefully be going to the world champs because there's a ton of points there, and I hope to also win African sprint champs in July.
Kuipers was the first woman to come out of the waters and she held her lead on the bike despite some strong winds. She further consolidated her lead in the run and created a sizable gap to the finish line to win in 2 hours, 17 minutes and 18 seconds. She was followed by Kenyan Megan Irungu, while South African athlete Aim Rock failed to finish the race. Lawrence Tuseda, ZBC News, Harare.
Former Casalaga Premier Circle League champions Ngezi Platinum Stars made a huge statement of intent after urging Ferding Giants Caps United 2-1 at Rufaro Stadium this Sunday.
2023 champions Ngezi Platinum Stars left the ceremonial home of football turf or Rufaro Stadium with maximum points courtesy of a 2-1 win over Caps United. Madambro reclaimed top spot, leapfrogging New Boys Moors, who had gone top on Saturday after a 1-0 triumph over ZPC Kariba. Their opponents on Sunday, Makepekepe, were desperate for a win to restore lost confidence, but Madambro had none of it, beating the Ferding Cup Kings in their own backyard in a fixture which saw disgruntled Caps United fans baying for coach Lloyd Chitembo's blood. Victory was a statement of intent for the Mondoro-based side who now have 13 points after posting 4 wins and a draw from 5 matches. To show their pedigree early in the season, Ngezi Platinum Stars have also walked past the likes of Scotland and Greenfield, who have also started the season strongly. Madamburo have continuity in them, having retained the bulk of their squad from the past 2 seasons, and they have started the season like a house on fire. Norton-based Moors and Scotland also demonstrated a shift in football dominance after posting impressive wins to remain in the top 4 bracket. Moors had the better of ZPC Kariba 1-0 to occupy second position on 11 points. Scotland ran amok, thrashing Bikita Minerals 3-0 to occupy third position on 10 points, the same number as Manica Diamonds. The Gem Boys edged Harare Giants Dynamos 1-0 at Sakuva. New Boys Kwekwe United presented former champions FC Platinum with a difficult fixture which left True Platinum play frustrated a lot. FC Platinum are undefeated, but they've only managed 1 win and 4 draws in 5 outings. Winless Chicken Inn also watched in Agon as Rentals frustrated them to a draw. Elsewhere, Simba Bora capitalized on home turf to beat Tail 1-0 to move to 8 points. Greenfield are on 8 points after edging Yada 1-0 in Chisumbanje. Low-veiled Triangle collected their first point after a 1-1 stalemate with Highlanders at Gibo. All big guns are nowhere to be seen in the top 5 bracket, a paradigm shift to the usual picture of the domestic scene. Mtogozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Zifa Eastern Region Division 1 Soccer League has received a lifeline after securing a sponsorship deal with cigarette manufacturers Pacific Storm.
The Zifa Eastern Region Division 1 Soccer League teams are bracing for more exciting times this year after they found a corporate partner, Pacific Storm. The league has not had a title sponsor for more than 2 decades, hence the excitement following the official launch of the deal over the weekend at Mcheke Stadium in Masvingo.
I think it's going to boost the season. It's going to boost talent Renyika ultimately. So we expect a thrilling season in Eastern Region.
This type of exposure, that's a monica nas, so as Mazaro and get a ground. Transcambo ticket, Makores, Chinchato wounds go on Pacific Storm.
This sponsorship will make a lot of difference this season because the injection of funds will automatically make play improve in the Eastern region. Will become better, the awards themselves, even the organization.
The league's chairperson, Wisdom Simba, and Zifa Chief Executive Officer, Yvonne Mapika Manwa, concurred that the deal will go a long way in improving competition in the league.
Especially to the youngsters, now that they know they are playing for something, as opposed to previous seasons, where they were playing for nothing.
It's just a testament of what they're doing as a league, and it's also a reflection of what the vision of Zifa itself is. And I think more than anything, we appreciate that Pacific has come in to sponsor and as a pioneer of sponsoring a league itself in the Eastern region.
Pacific Storm marketing manager Kudakwashe Chiutsi said the sponsorship was part of their corporate social responsibility.
The country has so much talent, especially coming from the grassroots, but they have no one who can actually sponsor them to actually go to the next level. So as Pacific Cigarette Company, we noticed that a lot of corporate companies are within the PSL already. So we decided as one of our strategies for 2025 to come into the D1 and actually help the talent within D1 with financial and material support as the season started.
As part of celebrations, a sponsorship launch cup was played at the weekend, in which Tenex FC beat Wangu Mazoze FC by 2-0. Mes Matina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
That's it from the Sports Corner, where the reporter focus is up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe. I hope you started your week on a high note. My name is Baba Marketa, and we thank you for joining us in today's edition of the Weather Report and Focus. We had partly cloudy conditions throughout the country, and it was sunny by midday with some bits of clouds here and there. Now, tomorrow we are expecting the same situation throughout the country with some clouds, especially over the northern half of the country, while the south would be partly cloudy to sunny throughout the day. Now, going to Wednesday, we're expecting a cloud system to enter the country from the west, and this should result in some thunderstorms, especially over Matabele and south, South, Masvingo as well as Manicaland provinces and some parts of Midlands. This should persist up to Friday. Now, for our temperatures, we're expecting mild morning temperatures throughout the country. And in terms of our maximums, we're expecting temperatures to be a little bit lower over the central watershed, that is over areas around Gweru as well as Harare. But warmer temperatures are expected over our valleys, that is over the Zambezi Valley to the north and the Limpopo Valley to the south, as well as the Sawi Valley, that is around Chirezi areas. Now, let us take a look at the detailed forecast for our major holiday resort areas and major systems. Starting with Bulawayo, we are expecting partly cloudy conditions throughout the week, with some rains being expected from Thursday up to Saturday, and temperatures should range between 23 and 31 degrees Celsius. In Matoba, the same situation is expected, with temperatures between 22 and 33. Gwanda, some rain from Thursday up to Saturday, and temperatures between 22 and 30. Masvingo, some rain again from Thursday. Gweru should also be raining again on the same period. The same should apply for Kwekwe, and we are also expecting the same for Kadoma, but with reduced chance. The Harare should also be raining from Thursday up to Saturday. Chinwe will be raining again in temperatures between 26 and 30. Lupane, some bit of rain from Friday. Victoria Falls will be partly cloudy throughout the week. Kariba should be warm throughout the weekend. Some rains are expected here and there. Bindura again should be partly cloudy, but rain from Thursday. Marondra will be raining with temperatures between 20 and 30. Nyanga should be raining from Thursday up to Saturday. Now, Zimbabwe, that is all that we had from the weather desk. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Well, many thanks there to Baba Maketa for giving us that detailed weather report and forecast, and that putting a cap on tonight's edition of the main news. From myself, Joyce Mabika, Tariro Manamike, Kiswe Jomunika on sign language, and of course our studio from Montrose in Bulawayo, and all of us here, it's good night.
Good night.
Taichera mvura murukowa, yani murukowa muya mvura inonga yane poison. Makomoredzi vaigeza zvemvura iyoyi yane poison.
Ndopa wakasvika pachisangano papa ndokusvopisa ofisi yangu yese, pisa zvese.
Ndikapinda nomvura kuma 6 handiri pakuseni, ndakaswera ndirimo the whole day, ndakatendeketa maja ndakadai.
Utakatosvika vamwe vakudikomboza mwiri yacho, vanga vakutonyangara zokuti maitongotora nefoshoro ishi muchisimudza muchinesa magomba.
Chikuru chandinoona chakasimudza vanhu inyaya yemusic, kuimba. Pane dzimbo dzataiteerera dzaibuda mumaredhiyo dzaifambirana nehondo mazuva iwayo, ndo dzakasimudza vanhu vakawanda kuti vaende kuMozambique. Station yakanyanya kundisimudza kundiende kuhondo, pane imwe station yataiteerera yekurussia yaibuda iri kuMoscow. Paingoimbwa chimbo nemunhu umwe chete, asi mazwi echimbo icho cheicho inini nevamwe vakawanda ndo zvakatsakisawo kuti tiende kuhondo. Achiti izvo, gore rino vakomana, tauya nenharo. Gore rino vakomana, nemamwewo mazwi. Saka kamboika kaka vanhu vakawanda vaikateerera, nokuda kwokuti kaingobuda paredhiyo ikoko ichibva nekuMoscow. Zvakaita kuti izvo vanhu vakawanda vapindwe nemweya wekubuda kuenda kuhondo. uyewo nenewswo dzaingotaurwa dzekungoti magandanga mauraya. Saka vaimbarumbo iroruro paingozotsanangurwa kuti aiwa haasi magandanga vari kurwira nyika, asi inini pachangu rumbo iroruro rwakandibata zvikuru mazuva acho iwayo.
The gallantry that won the liberation struggle, the supreme sacrifice that dismantled the brutal machinations of the colonial rule. This is the invaluable contribution rendered by selfless sons and daughters of the soil. One such cadre is Comrade Mereyari from Zimbabwe, born Elijah Kawema. As he goes down memory lane, he relates to the emotional, sad and gruesome moments of the liberation struggle. A narration punctuated by song, a narration which speaks volumes about the cause and spirited fight by the liberation war fighters.
Akaitwa masaka panyadzonya. Vanhu vakawanda vanokwanisa vakafa ipapo, vamwe vaiona zvaiitika. Asi chakakosha paizoda mazwi anonga achinyaradza nekupa mweya wekuti wehondo urambe wakasimuka.
He and other fellow comrades in the various bases in Mozambique helped to provide the reception that the new recruits needed. The men whose determination and political inclination inspired the liberation war fighters through song and dance.
Takagara panyadzonya tichidzidziswa politics minor tactics ekuziva kuti kana maatakiwa munoita sei. Nekuti tanga tiine comrades akanga abva kufront aitidzidzisa zvehondo izvozvo nenyaya dzepolitics. Kune chimbo chainzi ukatamba neZimbabwe yedu shamwari ndinokucheka nebanga zichirenje baba chirenje baba chirenje. Ichocho chaita kuti ropa rangu rimanye kuti ukatamba neZimbabwe yedu shamwari ndinokucheka nebanga.
They were maimed, they were tortured, they were poisoned, and they were dislodged. But that did not thwart the fighting spirit.
Kavamba, kakati wee! Katodarika nidi, katovona, Dakota masure, rorutsa, richirutsa masoja, achinowira kubani. Vakati kava munhu wese, taitofanira kutobva pakicheni, totodhisapia, kutiza pakicheni pane mapoto anoonekwa ka. Saka vamwe vakasara varipo, vakakanikwa bhombu varipo. Vasikana vatatu. Ini ndakabuda ndakabatana nawo mukomrade aikomrade tendai hondo. Saka ndakaedza kuda kuti ndivabate umhuma womuchiuno. Vakati usandibata, teerera chete kwandiri kuenda. Tichiburuka mugomo, tichidzika kudai. Bhesi rekwadziga kwiri. Tichidzika kudai. Patakanodzika, pandakangocheuka kuti nditasiva vasikati vasirako. Ndakanokomrada pachito. Izvo, zvino ndipinduka. Ndobva ndamanya ndichidzira. Ndakaona kuna masoja 4 akanga akavata akagadzika futi yavaiti nato yava nemakumbo yakadai kutasa gomo. Vakati fura umwe akati rega kufura, rega asvike. Saka ndakasvika, kanzi yauya pano mukadzi wegandari. Vatapa. Ndikati aiwa, handinga vatapa. Makomrades ari kusure. Tarayi makomrades dzinobva ndangodjamba kudai. Pane churu, ndakangoti pote museri mechuru. Museri mechuru mava norukova pasaidi apa. Ngaitoerera mvura. Kuma 6 handiri pakuseni. Ndakaswera ndirimo the whole day. Ndakatendeketa maja ndakadai. Zvese zvindakavhara ndakansiya pamesa. Helikopta yakanditeera vachitofuridza kudai. Takadzidzisa kuti kana ukange wavanda usagwera kudai. Marava kudai. Ndakaswera ndirimo 6 dzamanheru. Masoja adzika aenda kwainzi kudare. Kwaane mota dzavo. Ini ndo pandakabuda. Nguva diki ndakubuda ndabuda mukavha ndaenda muminda. Yasvika ndakamira munda ndichingocheka mupunga wakanga wakarimwa munda ndichingokanira pasi kudai. Yakatenderera vandiri ndikaramba ndingocheka ikabva yadzika ndikabva ndati kumanya ndakati kwati negomo manje.
I can safely say kuti ukanzwa pfuti ichirira uri mupenyu. Ini zvakaitika pandizivi. What I know ndezvokuti ndakangozomuka ndokuona ndakanga ndakuvara pane nhingirikiri fragment rakapinda apa namanje richiripo zvaro yepisi yakadai so. ndamuka ndakaona ndiri kutafanike ndadirwa mvura kumeso. Pandikati no, I remembered kuti no ndandisingamanyi. Ko even daisiri mvura dikita racho ndariwana kopi. So pandakapinza munwe ndakabata ndikaona huma yangu yadi yakasimuka kudai. So ndakubata ndakuisa munwe pandanga ndakuwara papapinda fragment raikwidza kudai. Saka ndikaona kuti ndangoti no, pano ndatokuwara inini changosara ndechekuti inguva chete ndakutofa. Ndafamba I think almost a kilometer ndo pandakatanga kunzwa marwadzo kumagadziko uko, which means kune bhuzu rakadonha mumakumbo mangu, ndo rina fragment rakasimuka ndobva randirowa panapa ndokutsemura ichi chinenge ichi, asi rakapinda mukati. Saka ndizvo ndakangoitawo kuita kuti ridzokere paposition. Zvakatondisevha and I didn't know kuti ndakanga ndakuwara magadziko. Ndo pandakazotanga kunzwa marwadzo manje kutozodai ndotoona ndiri kubuda ropa magadziko muzvidya umu